What is that?
Also, we were homeschooled, so we've never even had a real school lunch. Starting off, we are going all the way back to the 1900s. It's ruining my video! And we're back. We are starting off with the 1900s and, wait, the year that women got to vote.
Go women!
Our first meal is from the 1900s. Back then, the meat was only reserved for the men who worked in the coal mines, leaving the women and children with milk and crackers for most of their meals.
Let's try our onion soup.
Ow! Look at the soup.
It's like congealating. All right, let's try the onion soup.
Salty.
Yeah. And interesting fact back then is women actually got less food and their kids than the men because the meat was saved for them, which low-key, what?
Shame on
women have it harder.
Shame on you, men.
Go, women! I'll try the milk, you try the biscuits.
The biscuits are fire. The biscuits are fire.
Also, I should mention that we are doing the plant-based versions of everything because we are all vegan. I know that probably wouldn't fly back then because this was definitely like bone broth, but we are plant-based today.
And what for you? Because you wouldn't get meat.
I can't say that this is the most filling meal I've ever eaten. I feel like this is maybe all of like 10 calories, but you know, it is pretty tasty. Typical. The men hogging everything.
Lunch from the 1910s.
Also, the costume from this era,
Hey,
kinda cute.
where's my costume?
This meal is from the 1910s. In this decade, we started to get a little bit more variety in the food. We added potatoes and bread, but still not a whole lot of vegetables or protein in this decade.
I'm not gonna lie, this kind of looks similar to what I eat normally, so maybe the 1910s were my era.
Maybe.
All right, let's try the soup first.
Oh, bread is bread.
The soup isn't that bad. There's definitely a little more protein in this one than there was in the previous decade because this actually has lentils, and we've got garbanzo beans, potatoes with gravy.
Potato.
Okay, and interesting fact about the 1910s, kids actually got dried garbanzo beans as a special treat back then, so this was like exciting.
Overwhelmingly boring.
It is a little dull.
At least I got cookies in the last one.
I know food is food, but it's giving prison vibes.
Lunch in the 1920s was a little rough because there was a food shortage.
But we looked good.
In the 1920s, we had Hoover stew. This was going to be a mix of whatever food they could get their hands on every day for lunch. It could be a range of leftover bread, vegetables, whatever you had, pasta. It was all going in one pot, and that was your meal.
This is Hoover stew, and this was kind of just a hodgepodge of ingredients that the teachers were able to make in the classroom. I mean, we've got a little corn, pinto beans. I can't eat the corn because I'm allergic to corn, so my food allergies back then would not fly.
I'm allergic to Hoover stew.
Well, you can eat Hoover bread. It's not terrible. It's very like garden stew-esque. Bon appetit. But not bad.
1930s was the Great Depression, so school lunches looked like tomato soup with peanut butter in it for protein. In the 1930s, this was when we were in the Great Depression, so there wasn't a lot of resources when it came to getting food for school lunches. A lot of the schools actually had to have their own gardens to be able to get their food, but they relied a lot on peanut butter and tomatoes, so that's why we have this meal.
Well, have at it, because I am not a tomato girly.
This looks appetizing. This is putting me into the Great Depression.
Unfortunately, there is one thing that I do not eat, and that is, well, two. Ah!
You know how many people in the Great Depression would beg for this little dollop of peanut butter?
Eat it! I don't eat tomatoes, so I'm not eating it.
What's America's obsession with bread? Here we go.
How is it? I mean, the bread looks good. It would low-key be so sad that like your only two ingredients were literally peanut butter and tomatoes, and they were like,
Girl, yeah, it was sad. The whole entire economy was crumbling. Everyone was sad. Everyone was depressed. They were lucky they had two ingredients. My consensus was, I would never eat it again. But they were doing what they could. And the teachers were teaching, and they were feeding those kids. And honestly, it's probably more nutritious than what schools have in lunch today.
Lunch in the 40s looked a little bit more exciting. We have meatloaf with potatoes and chocolate pudding.
Yeah, you say exciting, but the pudding looks like that. These meatballs are also cold.
Listen, the last lunch was peanut butter and tomato soup, okay? Anything's more exciting than that.
Can the woman eat the meatballs?
Yes, we've entered the decade where women
Yeah!
are protein. In the 1940s, we are coming out of the food shortage and we were able to get some actual protein in the school lunches.
I'm actually thinking maybe you should join us for this meal.
I will gladly eat potatoes.
Gabriel, I don't think it's fair that you keep feeding us all of this food and you don't get any. So please,
Okay, I guess let me try the meatloaf.
put the whole thing in your mouth.
Okay, not bad actually. Okay, but low-key, the pudding is so yummy.
Let me try some.
Ew!
That is pretty good.
You are never invited back.
The 50s. We are back to having normal sized servings of food, and the focus of this decade was more variety. In the 1950s, we were able to have a little bit more fun with the school lunches as we were adding in different kinds of proteins and a little bit more vegetables.
And look at all this color.
Yeah,
It's not just brown.
Okay, I'm seeing like we got protein, we got dessert, fruits, vegetables. They definitely hit up a little more of
Flip that, reverse it.
You pointed at the veggies and said fruit, and then you pointed at the fruit and said veggies.
Also, there's a difference in the drink in this decade. We have Dr. Pepper instead of milk. I do love me some vegetables.
Okay, fun fact, I've never tried Dr. Pepper before.
The green beans are good.
Kinda gas. Let's get our daily portion of fruit.
Ew.
Nice and peachy.
You are not getting the pudding. I feel like this is the closest school lunch that we have had to like our current school lunches. I feel like if you were to put a modern day school lunch next to this, it would not be that far off. And the clothes back then were definitely cuter.
Pudding
Hey,
time.
how did you get the pudding cup? Ew! There's one thing I love, it's a good chicken nugget.
In the 50s, if you went up to someone and you were like, excuse me, Miss Cafeteria Lady, I am gluten-free, vegan, not dairy, sugar-free, and can't have corn. I just described myself, that is me.
Honestly, the 50s was the best decade so far.
Oh, really? Honestly, I kind of liked the vegetable medley garden in the 30s.
The Hoover stew.
Welcome to the 60s.
Hey, Mom, welcome to the 60s.
The 1960s, we were finally saying hello to foods from around the world. So, hello pizza. The 50s are when school lunches started incorporating other cultures from around the world and putting it on their menus, such as Mexican food, Italian. It was time to broaden their horizons.
All right, we got
Pizza.
some pizza.
Pizza.
We've upgraded from milk to
The dessert milk.
chocolate milk. Nothing says nutritious lunch like a cup of sugar paired with some more sugar.
I have to be honest, I do not have a good history with chocolate milk. Once I start, I can't stop.
He threw it up on our babysitter once.
Hey, Betsy, I'm sorry. You ever get that stain out? Comment down below.
Okay, we've got some.
Lettuce.
I love a good salad. It's the iceberg.
It's like a water explosion.
It almost reminds me if there was like an unhealthy lettuce, like it would be iceberg, right? Like you get it.
Being said, right?
Like if you were to like indulge in a lettuce. I would eat this, but I'm allergic to corn.
Oh, I don't like that.
How's the corn?
Warm.
Okay, are you sure you don't want to try the?
I literally can feel my insides craving more. I'm a chocolate milk addict. Dr. Pepper, great again.
All right, cheers! Bon appetit!
Oh.
How is it?
Oh yeah.
It's good?
Oh.
I could definitely get by with pizza for lunch.
5 stars for the 60s.
Welcome to the 70s, where lunch is starting to get a little bit more unhealthy.
Yep, I see a lot. Ow! I don't see a lot of nutritional value on this plate.
In the 1970s, this is when we started putting more vending machines into school. I know, can you imagine a time where there were no vending machines? But this is when they started adding in a little bit more processed food and foods that had a little bit more sugar in them.
I'm just saying right now, I would get a stomachache from this.
I'm getting a stomachache looking at this. We've got burger, cookies, french fries, and more chocolate milk. Where do they keep getting the chocolate cow?
All right, I have to admit, I love a good burger and fries, but having it every single day for a school lunch seems like you'd get so tired of it.
I'm also not a fan of mustard, so ketchup all the way for me. Burger time.
All right, let's give it a go.
I just can't imagine eating a burger for lunch. Like, I get the end of the day, but like, lunch? All right, we got the milk and cookies.
Bury me in that.
The fries are good.
Okay, the burger wasn't bad. I liked it.
Yeah, but would you eat it every day for lunch?
No.
The cookies are good.
Here we have lunch from the 80s. Everyone's favorite food back then was Sloppy Joe's.
Everyone's favorite?
Most people's favorite.
Is that a fact?
Yes. The 1980s, you're gonna start seeing this lunch be a little bit more familiar to what we eat today. A little bit more variety, a little bit more pick and choose of what you want to eat.
Okay, this looks like, in my opinion, that's my opinion! The most sugary lunch we've had so far.
Oranges have natural sugar, but that still adds to the pudding sugar, chocolate milk sugar, sloppy joe's sugar, and
the cookie sugar. That's a lot of sugar.
Honestly, I'm getting a little full.
Yeah, all these school lunches, we've literally eaten 100 years of food, basically.
This is the first healthy thing I've had this whole video.
I'll take it.
Eat it, no one gets it. Okay, well.
Also, what were school's obsessions with green beans? Like, why green beans?
Why not?
Do you like green beans?
I mean, all right, there ain't no time like the present for a sloppy joe.
Oh, you sloppy joe into the pudding.
I hate when I sloppy joe into my pudding.
Imagine just a nice math class and yes, you get some sloppy joes for lunch. Do you need some chocolate milk to wash it down?
Okay.
Can you imagine eating this full meal and then going to have to do like PE after that? Like imagine doing jumping jacks and all this food just like sloshing in your stomach. Oh, I couldn't. How was it?
I've had better sloppy joes.
Okay, well I will go ahead and help myself to an orange slice. The orange has no juice in it.
Well, just like the 100 years of school lunches, this orange is disappointing.
Welcome to the 90s.
All right, we're getting somewhere. We got some flavor on the tray.
The 1990s, we're trying to be a little bit more healthy, but maybe still a little bit more processed foods on the lunches. But you still got to pick what you wanted to have for lunch.
Still a decent amount of sugar, but definitely I would say this feels a little more balanced of a school lunch.
If I eat any more chocolate milk, I might throw up.
You can't go wrong with the salad.
Oh, no dressing?
We've got an enchilada right here, and we are gonna go ahead and give it a little taste. That's good. That's good. I could eat that.
Straight out of the kitchen, bro.
If I'm being so real, I could eat an enchilada every day. This is gross. He's speechless, it's so good.
Lastly, we got some peaches. Y'all already know what I'm about to do.
Oh my god.
The peach almost choked me.
And a zucchini muffin. Oh my god, I almost choked on my enchilada.
Okay, no more food before you guys start choking.
Enchilada.
Now we have the 2000s, also known as the aughts.
The year that I was born.
The 2000s is probably something you're very familiar with eating every day at lunch. You're picking or choosing what you want to eat, but for this meal, we have a yummy burrito.
It is interesting because it's like different things from a lot of different decades, but you got to choose.
Blue milk. It just tastes like milk. Almond.
All right, then we've got some mashed potatoes, and it looks like we've got a burrito, some pizza.
All right, let's try this burrito. Good size, good wrap. Oh yeah. Oh, hot. Oh my.
All right, I definitely feel like though the one thing that this lunch is missing, and I feel like there was a critical turn around the 1960s where they really just vetoed nutrition. They said, that is not the top of our priority.
What are you saying? I have beans in my burrito and there's carrots.
Yeah, and then eat your sugary milk and your pudding. It's weird to think about that. This is what I would have been eating though if I went to school, which I absolutely didn't. All right, guys, comment down below which decade was your favorite and which decade you would want to try. We'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye.